So, hey guys, today we're going to talk about the Tyranid new codex. So, I brought in, well, actually, WGC East, the coach, doing Family 777, Family Gamer 777. He's the guy that heads, WGC East. So, in WGC East, our tactical guy here is Eric. And Eric, do you have a channel?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I just help everybody out with their channels,
Okay,
basically.
That's fine. All right, so we're going to go at it and take a look at the new Tyranid Codex. Now, I haven't had much time to really take a look at it, let alone, I don't much know about Tyranid, but you do, but you haven't had time to...
I didn't really look at the book much, but
you know enough to, I guess,
I could
guess
my
at,
opinion.
like everyone is doing right now, and a lot of knee-jerk reactions out there right now.
Yeah.
But
Everybody's flipping because they took out the Doom Malantai.
yeah,
They took out the Parasite of Mortrex, but nobody really played that. They took out Yarm Garls, and they took out the Mycetic Spores, which is kind of,
one of your favorite things for you.
well, those were 3 units, 3 out of the 4 that you use, and a lot of people use them, and now it's like they're gone. I think that's the initial shock, is everybody was comfortable playing. That's like a Space Marine Codex coming out with no TAC Marines.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like, your favorite units that you use, now you can't use them anymore, and they're just not there.
Yeah.
And Yarn Girls were awesome, and they're gone. And Spores, you can't really, you can deep strike, but you can't deep strike like, you used to.
Other than that, when you were looking through it, what other things that you might have seen that might make it a good, thing?
Well, they have their own psychic powers. They don't go in the basic, they don't go on the cards. They have their own cards.
Right.
And no Eternal Warrior.
No
one has Eternal Warrior.
Oh, none of them?
Nope.
No one in there. Earlier today, I posted a question about why everyone was, hating on the new codex, since, I don't play doing this much or barely even read the new codex, so I don't know much about it. But let's see what your reaction or what you would have to say to some of these people's comments. This is on the WGC Facebook page, right? CJ says, I don't think so, meaning I think he was replying to my question of,
Why is everybody getting crazy for?
yeah, are they changing the way the army plays? I think that's what he's saying. I don't think so too. Right? He says, I don't think so as my favorite army and the one I've played the most. I think people are overreacting because they didn't see any immediate Death Star units. Personally, there's a lot that I'm excited about, especially running Old One Eye as HQ. Up to 12 strength, 10 AP, 2 hits on the charge, with a likely 5+ feel no pain and a 4-up regeneration. Mm-hmm. And he says, yes, please. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, but that's good, but you got to get them across the field.
Right.
So, unfortunately, like with Tau and Eldar, and especially Tau shooting, I mean, but then again, what army doesn't have to contend with Tau and Eldar or Tau shooting going up?
I mean, being Tyranid, that is a horde army, a swarm army.
Right, but he's not a swarm, he's one.
He's not a swarm.
So,
okay.
That's great if you can get him into combat.
Oh, well, why don't you just surround him with a bunch of,
Yeah,
troops of Gaunt,
well, I think that might be, I guess that's the way you have to play them now, just bubble wrap them with either Hormagaunts or Termagants and...
But is that how Tyranid's always been played?
No, yes and no.
Yes and no.
You could swarm them, or you can deep strike them in, or it was fun to eat 3 or 4 spore pods, mycetic spores, and then all of a sudden they crack open and these guys are all over the place.
Right.
But that's the way I played my Space Marine list. So it's kind of like, I think it's just everybody's freaking out because you got to think of a new way to play.
Yeah.
Everybody got comfortable.
Yeah, something got to, and then something new came on. Well, I mean, that happens all the time with new codexes and stuff. So Brian H. on Facebook says, I can say that one thing that I found with one game I've played with them so far, that they have much different tools now. I played versus Tau 3 Riptide Gunline, and I won because with the mix that the Tyranids hold. Venothropes are very good and easy to hide in units of 1 to protect them. Spore Mines, Varlocks, Exocreeds are really good. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm just pronouncing that.
The Exocreed. That's the new kit. That's not the one with the mouth. The other one. The one with the big gun on his back.
Okay. Now in that sense, he's saying there's a lot more different tools now, and I think when I play a lot of armies like Space Marines or stuff, I always pair them up. like 2 tactical squads, each have the same, loadout, each, 2 riptides, same loadout type of thing. I noticed that a lot of times when I'm seeing my friends play Tyranids, they're always a mix. There's never like a duality to them. They're always like a melting pot.
There's so much to them that you can go crazy and pick everything.
Right.
And everything was good, but everybody was picking the fly rinse, and everybody was picking. Sometimes you take the swarm lord, but you can mix them. It depends on the points too. If you're playing a low point game, that also your HQ, but if you're playing a big point game, and also the Hive Tyrant and the Swarm Lord went up in price.
Oh, okay.
In points.
All right. Well, let's see what Mike T says here. He hasn't seen the Codex yet, but he's seen the typically first day moans as the old crutches disappear. Sing Thing Talons got worse. Doom has disappeared. Have to take more gaunts to unlock the Turvagon troops. That sort of thing.
You need 30. It used to be 10. Now it's 30.
Now it's 30?
Yeah.
So in no way will it be as bad as the internet whiners make out. So he's saying that, again, knee-jerk reactions to everything, but it sounds like everything's got more expensive.
Everything got cheaper, actually. So just a few things, like I know the Swarm Lord and the Turvagon, the Hive Tyrant went up.
Okay.
But everything else got cheaper. But remember everybody said that Eldar wasn't good?
Right.
And Eldar is one of the top tier armies, yeah.
Yeah, crazy ass kickers out there right now. So what is this thing about unlocking the Tarragon? So they're making more requirements to unlock the good stuff?
You can make them an HQ, and then you can make them a troop choice, but you'd have to take 10 gaunts as a troop choice.
Okay.
Now, if you want to do that, you have to take 30 gaunts as a troop choice.
Okay. So that's just one of the instances?
Also, Shadows in the Warp is not as good as it used to be.
Oh, okay.
So what happens is if you were in a range of a Shadow in the Warp creature, you would roll 3d6 for your leadership test.
Okay.
Now, it's only -3 to leadership.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean...
But was it really ridiculous where they had to nerf that?
No, not really. I mean, I was playing Grey Knights, and, you do your test, and you'd have to do 3d6, and sometimes you fail, sometimes, I don't know, I don't want to really give it a percentage, but it goes either way. But now it's just a -3 to your leadership. So if you got to roll a 10, and on a leadership 10, you're rolling leadership 7. So you roll 2d6. Average is 7, so it's not.
So they just kind of changed it the way
they changed it, but it was better for the Tyranids. I think 3d6.
3d6.
Yeah, it's a little tougher to.
A little tougher, yeah.
All right, so we're here with Eric, and we're going to be talking more about bugs, and so we got a few things that we want to talk about. So you were saying that they lost biomancy. But one of the great things is that they got a 4+ on the regeneration.
Right. Yeah. We've been talking about how people have been going crazy over the new decks. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I'm a fan of it. Mm-hmm. You got to look at the trade-offs that things come with the new book.
Right.
And sometimes the trade-offs are a little bit tough, but they always work out.
Right.
You got to realize now that GW is not going to put in that big giant auto win button anymore.
Right.
So, like we were just talking about, you may have lost biomancy, but in the last book, regeneration was on a 6-up.
Right.
Now regeneration is on a 4-up.
Right, which is better than It Will Not Die, because It Will Not Die is a 5-up, which everybody hates on the Helldrake, which I hate on the Helldrake. And even the Iron Hands, same thing. It Will Not Die. So a 4-up is awesome because, but you don't have Eternal Warrior, but the 4-up is actually pretty good.
Yep.
I mean, I'd rather have the 4-up than Eternal Warrior because, all right, on a monstrous creature, he's probably not going to get doubled out.
Yeah.
Even if he's T6 or T5, anything is 10, unless you were bringing in escalation rules. But everything, the highest thing you're going to face is T10 for shooting. So you're never going to get doubled out. You're never going to, and then. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's got to be a lot higher than rolling a 6.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's when at the end of
I believe it's at the end of your turn. If your model with regeneration took wounds, he gets to roll a die, and on a 4-up, he'll get a wound back.
Right.
So your Hive Tyrants, all your big bugs, why not put regeneration on them?
It's a cheap enough upgrade. It's definitely no-brainer.
Yeah.
So another thing we were talking about, we lost Scything Talons, rerolling ones, but if you take 2 sets of Scything Talons, or a set of Scything Talons and Rending Claws, it's +1 to the attack now.
Yep.
So if you take the Warriors, which we both love, but we know that they're not that great. But if you get 2 sets of Silent Talons or Ravenous is a beast.
Yep.
And they'll, the mobility and everything. Put a pair of Scything Talons and Rending Claws on them, and you're going to get it. It's base 3.
Yep.
Now you put that on, it's +1 on the charge. So 5 on the charge. That's a pretty good.
Right. Yeah. Well,
+1 attack.
The Raveners, they come standard with the 2 sets of Scything Talons.
Right.
So yeah, just like you were saying, they're base 3 attacks, but the Scything Talons makes them base 4 attacks.
Right. And then you can put I like to put Rending Claws on just to get that punch, and now an extra attack 4 or 5 on the charge. That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Tyranid Flyers. There's some cool flyers. I really like myself. I like the Crone.
Yep.
And the Harpy's cool, but I think for me the Crone is where it's at.
Yeah, I agree. I think both of them are really good for their points.
They're cheap, right? 135.
Yeah, the Harpy is like 135 points or something, and the Crone is only like 20 more points or something. Right. And the Crone is a beast.
Right.
He's really tough. Both of them are at least T5 with 5 wounds each. You could get regeneration on those guys. You can. And then the Crone we were talking about earlier, the Crone, the Vector Strike.
Strength 8. Yeah, it's better than the what's the Helldrake strength 7.
He's strength 7. Yeah,
strength 7. So that's pretty good. And in tough 5, tough 6 with regeneration, it's almost. It's not impossible, but it's going to be really tough to kill him.
Yep.
Especially, maybe you go to turn 7, you might be able to, but then you need Skyfire. Mm-hmm. So if you just happen to not bring something with Skyfire and he's flying around, it's going to be a real. I don't know, she. Every time I hear Crone, I think it's a female going.
That's what
around.
I think too. I know a lot of people have brought this up already, but the heavy support slot is. There's so many great heavy supports in this codex.
Yeah. The Horsepex, he's.
I think he's an elite.
He's an elite, but the other, I'm not the Horsepex, the
Exocrine.
Exocrine.
Yeah.
I like that big gun. It's like and then you could shoot it 2 ways.
Yep. That's right. Yep.
Big blast or a little, or smaller stuff. So.
Definitely a lot of good choices in the codex. I think this codex is it's just GW doing what GW does. They introduce some new ideas, and they're going to make you have a mixed army with this army.
That's the only thing, though. The psychic powers in this they're not terrible. They're actually pretty good.
No, yeah, I like them. I've been thinking about. There's a lot of good ones. Catalyst is great to be able to run and shoot. Psychic Scream is great.
Yeah. That'll be like a Seer Council nightmare.
Yeah.
Psychic Scream, just making their heads explode.
Yeah. Like I would love to do something with. Picture with Catalyst, you could have a bunch of Tyrannifexes rampaging towards your opponent, being able to run and then shoot their big guns.
Right.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
With regeneration on them.
With regeneration.
With Hive Tyrants backing them up, giving them those powers with regeneration on them too.
So now, the way it looks is we'll bring back Nidzilla.
Yeah, I think you could bring back Nidzilla with this codex. I think with the new big bugs that they've come out with and some of the old big bugs, you could definitely bring back Nidzilla.
Nidzilla, yeah. And that's also cool too, because if you go to a tournament, you bring 300 models. Now you don't have to bring 300 models. And what about Morlocks and Trigons? That Trigon is my favorite model.
Yeah. A lot of people are complaining about it for some reason, but I think it's fine. The Malok Subterranean Assault. Mm-hmm. I think it's still good. Mm-hmm. I think it's still viable. I think there's still a good model. I like how they separated out the Trigon and the Trigon Prime in this codex. They actually made it 2 separate entries, so you don't just start with a Trigon and then have to build a Prime. And again, those big bugs being your front runners, they just clear the way for everything else. The Subterranean Salt is still really good.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
yeah, that stinks when you're on the receiving end of it. You get the big blast, and next thing you know, 2 rhinos blow up, and 10 guys die, and yeah, it's terrible. And also, don't forget when the Trigon deep strikes. Yeah. And I don't know how the little hole, but troops come out of that. So yeah. Gene Stealers, though. Gene Stealers are not the greatest like they used to be. They might be, but they.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people online complaining about how GW continues to poo-poo on probably one of the biggest iconic units of 40K. I mean, you really got to think about it, though. They're weapon skill 6. They're still strength 4, toughness 4. They're still initiative 6. They have plenty of attacks. They're only 14 points. And then on top of that, they come with fleet. Infiltrate, and move through cover. For 14 points?
Right.
I mean, it's everybody thinking that GW is just going to put in some big giant auto win button.
The Uber unit that's not there.
Yeah. So, me thinking about that for 14 points for everything that you could do with that unit.
I think the infiltrate is good. You know what it is though? Because you don't have the spore to drop them in, you got to run them across the table or infiltrate them. You have to finesse the Gene Stealer tactics. And everybody says, what about Overwatch? But I don't know. Every time I do Overwatch, it's almost never effective. Almost, like maybe kill 1 or 2 models. But if I have 20 Gene Stealers coming and I kill 2 of them, it's going to be bad for me. Right. If you're lucky, you kill 4 of them. But if you're going to definitely run a squad of 20 or 15 or something, a high enough number where, if 5 of them get into you, it's not fun. Yeah. It's not going to be fun.
Yeah. I'd say really my only one complaint about stuff is there's not more ways to get flesh hooks. Because that is, obviously Tyranids are mostly a close combat army.
Right. That's their grenades.
Yeah, that's their frag grenades basically. Right. But something like the Gene Stealers, they can't get flesh hooks. Right. Hormagaunts, they can't get the flesh hooks. So you just gotta pick and choose your battles.
Also, the Broodlord only has horror now. He doesn't have the gaze anymore.
Right.
So and that gaze was great because I remember I was playing Andrew and I had Calgar versus the Broodlord and he kept putting him to sleep and he was just tearing him apart. And when Calgar woke up, he killed the Broodlord, but it was 4 turns later. Now they don't have that anymore, and I think that's bad. I don't like that because the Broodlord is already you're paying for more points. He's beefed up. He's a cool model. Yeah, and then he can't put you to sleep anymore. It's not. That's the one thing. I mean, I love Gene Stealers. There's nothing bad. The Arm Girls being gone is bad, but. Gene Stealers. But the Broodlord not having that power, I think that's a little tough because that's a close combat specific psychic power. The book is you have to read it. You got to research it. There's no press click and go. You have to really finesse it. Right. And I think you have to buy some new models. There's no way. There's no 2 ways about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we were talking about Shadows in the Warp before. Right. I mean it sucks, but. It makes sense to me that they did that because they got rid of the Eldar runes of warding.
Right, they nerfed the runes of warding.
So if you didn't see that nerf coming, right, I expected it.
And I didn't think Synapse was going to give Eternal Warrior.
No, that was ridiculous.
Imagine 30 Termagants with Eternal Warrior. It's just not going to happen.
No way.
The whole point of wiping out a swarm is you can double them out and get rid of them. Yeah. But I didn't think that was going to happen. Yeah, that was I think that was wishful thinking. I kept saying I wanted Old Fleet to come back, and it wasn't going to happen. I was hoping
it'd be nice if they gave a psychic power to give Old Fleet. Right. But. It is what it is.
All right, so thank you for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed. Coach and Eric really talked a lot about it. So hopefully, if you guys have any comments or questions or suggestions, what have you, just leave it in the comments. They'll go look at it. I don't care. I'm just going to ignore it and go do something else. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, like if you like, sub if you haven't, pray if you love me, and share what you can. Talk to you guys later.